You think you're in love, but your chest is always tight. You're walking on eggshells, and you can't remember the last time you felt safe. That's not love. That's a trauma bond. And today, we're going to talk about the difference, because your life might depend on it. Welcome to Queer Mind Shield. This is a space where we talk about the things nobody else wants to name: gaslighting, emotional abuse, manipulation disguised as love. And today, we're talking about trauma bonds in queer relationships. Here's the thing. A lot of us grew up believing that love is supposed to hurt a little, that if you're queer, you should be grateful someone chose you at all, that drama means passion. But no, sometimes what we call love is actually survival mode. It's your nervous system clinging to someone, not because they're good for you, but because leaving feels more dangerous than staying. So let's break it down. What is a trauma bond? It's an emotional attachment formed through cycles of abuse and relief. You get hurt, then you get love bombed, then you get hurt again. And your brain starts to confuse that intensity with connection. In queer relationships, this gets even more complicated because many of us have been rejected by our families, our communities, sometimes even ourselves. So when someone finally says, "I see you, I want you," we hold on, even when they're destroying us. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 signs that what you're feeling isn't love, it's a trauma bond. And then we'll talk about what you can do about it. Let's begin. Sign number 1, you're addicted to the highs because the lows are unbearable. This is called intermittent reinforcement. One day, they're everything you've ever wanted. They tell you you're beautiful, special, the only one who understands them. You feel seen, you feel chosen. And then, without warning, they pull away. They go cold, silent, critical. And suddenly, you're doing everything you can just to get that warmth back. That's not love. That's a slot machine. Your brain releases dopamine during those good moments, and it keeps you pulling the lever, hoping the next time will be different. In queer relationships, this gets twisted even further because a lot of us didn't get unconditional love growing up. So when someone gives us attention, even if it's inconsistent, even if it hurts, we convince ourselves it's enough. We tell ourselves, at least they're here, at least they want me. But love shouldn't feel like a gamble. Sign number 2, you've lost yourself. You used to have hobbies, opinions, friends. Now, you barely recognize the person in the mirror. You've started dressing the way they like, talking the way they approve of, avoiding topics that might upset them. You don't even realize you're doing it until one day you wake up and think, who am I? Trauma bonds erase your identity piece by piece. The abuser doesn't do it all at once. That will be too obvious. They do it slowly. A comment here, a sigh there. You're too sensitive. You're embarrassing me. Why can't you just be normal? And bit by bit, you shrink yourself to fit their idea of acceptable. For queer people, this is especially dangerous because many of us already spent years hiding who we are. We've already practiced making ourselves smaller. So when a partner asks us to do it again, we don't even question it. We think, maybe this is just what relationships are. No, it's not. Sign number 3, you're walking on eggshells. You never know what version of them you're gonna get. Will they be loving today, or will one wrong word set them off? So you learn to read the room. You monitor their tone, their body language, their silences. You become hyper-vigilant, always scanning for danger, always ready to adjust. That's not intimacy. That's survival mode. Your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. Even in calm moments, you can't fully relax because you know the explosion is coming. You just don't know when. And here's the cruel part. When it finally does happen, you almost feel relieved. At least now you know where you stand. At least the tension is over, until the cycle starts again. In queer relationships, this fear is often layered with something else. The fear that if you leave, you won't find anyone else, that the queer dating pool is too small, that you should be grateful someone wants you at all. But let me say this clearly. You deserve more than someone who makes you afraid. You deserve more than a relationship that feels like defusing a bomb every single day. Sign number 4, you keep rationalizing their behavior. Deep down, you know something is wrong. Your body feels it first. The tight stomach, the headaches, the way your heart drops when you see their name on your phone. But instead of listening to that feeling, you explain it away. They had a tough childhood. They're just stressed. They didn't mean it. They only talk like that when they're drunk. You become a professional at defending them, to your friends, to your therapist, to yourself. You focus on their potential instead of their patterns. In trauma bonds, your mind builds a story to protect the bond. Because if you admitted how bad it really is, you might have to do something about it. And that feels terrifying. For queer people, there's another layer. You might think, straight people already think our relationships are messy. I don't want them to give them more reasons to judge us. So you protect the relationship's image instead of protecting yourself. You keep the worst parts a secret. Sign number 5, you feel like you can't leave. Not just that you don't want to, you feel like you literally can't. The idea of breaking up makes your chest close up. Your brain starts screaming, what if no one else ever loves me? What if I regret it? What if they change after I go? So you stay. You stay through things you once swore you would never accept. This is one of the clearest signs of a trauma bond. Your nervous system has linked this person with survival. Even if they're the source of your pain, they also feel like your only safety. They hurt you, then they comfort you. And that cycle becomes your whole world. In queer relationships, leaving can feel even more complicated. Maybe you're both out only to each other. Maybe you share a chosen family. Maybe their apartment is the only place where you can be yourself. So walking away doesn't just mean losing a partner. It means risking your entire sense of home. If any of this sounds familiar, pause for a moment. Notice what your body is doing right now. Are your shoulders tense? Is your jaw tight? Do you feel a heaviness in your chest? Your body is not betraying you. It's trying to tell you the truth your mind has been trained to ignore. Sign number 6, you're isolated from everyone who cares about you. Think back. When did you last see your friends? When did you last talk to your family or your chosen family? If the answer is, I can't remember, that's not a coincidence. Abusers isolate. Not always in obvious ways. They don't lock you in a room. Instead, they slowly convince you that other people are the problem. Your friends don't understand us. They're jealous of what we have. Your family never really accepted you anyway. And bit by bit, you stop calling people back. You stop going out. You start thinking it's easier if it's just the two of us. But isolation isn't love. It's control. For queer people, this isolation hits differently. Because a lot of us already lost people when we came out. So when a partner asks us to cut off the few people we have left, we might not realize what's happening. We think, at least I still have them. But a partner who truly loves you won't make you choose between them and the rest of your life. Love expands your world. Abuse shrinks it. Sign number 7. You know deep down that something is wrong, but you're terrified to admit it. This is the hardest one to face because it means looking at the truth you've been running from. You felt it for a while now. The knot in your stomach, the heaviness when you wake up, the relief you feel when they're not around. But every time that thought surfaces, this isn't right, another voice shuts it down. But I love them. But they need me. But what if I'm wrong? So you push it back down. You distract yourself. You focus on the good days and ignore the pattern. But your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Here's what I want you to understand. If you recognize yourself in even 3 of these signs, you are not overreacting. You're not being dramatic. You're not too sensitive. You are in a trauma bond. And that is not the same thing as being in love. Love feels safe. It feels steady. It doesn't require you to lose yourself. It doesn't make you walk on eggshells or rationalize harm. Real love doesn't feel like survival. In healthy queer relationships, you grow together. You support each other's autonomy. You communicate openly, even when it's hard. You don't punish each other for having needs or boundaries. That's what real love looks like. If what you're experiencing doesn't feel like that, if it feels more like clinging to a life raft in the middle of a storm, then it's time to ask yourself a hard question. Am I staying because this is love? Or am I staying because I'm afraid of what happens if I leave?
Let's talk about why this happens to queer people so often. It's not because we're weak. It's not because we're broken. It's because we live in a world that taught us from a very young age that we are wrong. Many of us grew up hiding who we are. We learned to monitor every word, every gesture, every glance, just to stay safe. We became experts at reading people's moods so we wouldn't be caught. That skill, hypervigilance, becomes second nature. And later, when we enter relationships, we bring that same survival mode with us. We're already trained to scan for danger. We're already used to shrinking ourselves to fit someone else's expectations. On top of that, queer people often face rejection from the people who were supposed to love us unconditionally. Our families, our communities, sometimes even ourselves. So when a romantic partner shows up and says, "I accept you, I see you, I want you," that feels like a lifeline. Even if that person is hurting us, we hold on, because losing them feels like losing the only proof that we're worthy of love. Research shows that LGBTQ people are significantly more likely to experience intimate partner violence than heterosexual people. And trauma bonds thrive in environments where someone already feels invisible, disposable, or too much. If you've spent your whole life wondering if you deserve love, it becomes harder to recognize when someone is taking advantage of that doubt. So if you're in this situation right now, hear me clearly. You did not attract this because of who you are. You are not being punished for being queer. You are experiencing something that happens when someone weaponizes your vulnerability. And that is not your fault. Now, what do you do? Breaking a trauma bond is not easy. Your nervous system is wired to protect the bond, even when the bond is killing you. But you can start small. Step 1. Name what's happening. Out loud to yourself, in a journal, to one safe person. Say the words, "I think I'm in a trauma bond." Naming it breaks the spell just a little bit.
Because as long as it stays unnamed, your brain will keep rationalizing it as love. Step 2. Reconnect with someone outside the relationship. One friend, one family member, one therapist, one support group. Abusers thrive in isolation. So even one connection to the outside world starts to weaken their control. You don't have to tell that person everything right away. Just start talking to them again. Step 3, notice your body. Your mind might still be arguing for the relationship, but your body knows the truth. When you think about seeing them, does your chest tighten? When they text you, do you feel dread? When they're not around, do you feel lighter? Those are not random feelings. That's your nervous system giving you information. Start listening to it. These steps won't fix everything overnight. Trauma bonds take time to break, but every small step toward recognizing what's happening is a step toward freedom. I want you to know something important. If you recognized yourself in this video, you are not alone. Thousands of queer people are going through this right now, wondering if they're overreacting, wondering if it's really that bad, wondering if they'll ever feel safe again. And the answer is yes, you will. Breaking a trauma bond doesn't mean you were weak for forming one. It means you survived something that was designed to trap you. And now you're choosing to see it for what it is. That takes courage. Healing won't be linear. Some days you'll feel strong and clear. Other days you'll miss them so much it hurts. That's normal. That's part of the process. Your nervous system is rewiring itself. It's learning that safety doesn't have to come with pain attached. And here's something else I need you to hear. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to leave today. You don't have to be ready. But you do have to start being honest with yourself about what's happening. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's when the real healing begins. If you're watching this and thinking, I need help, but I don't know where to start, here's what I want you to do. Find one person you trust. One. It can be a friend, a therapist, a crisis hotline, an online support group. Just one connection outside of this relationship. That's your lifeline. And if you're afraid to leave because you think you won't survive without them, listen to me. You already survived before you met them. You will survive after they're gone. The person you were before this relationship, they're still in there, buried under fear and exhaustion maybe, but still there, still waiting for you to come home. To everyone watching, if this video helped you, please share it. Someone in your life might need to hear this. Someone might be in a trauma bond right now and not have the words for it yet. You could be the person who helps them see. Subscribe to Queer Mind Shield if you want more videos like this. We talk about gaslighting, manipulation, emotional abuse, and how to protect your mind from people who want to break it. Leave a comment if you feel safe doing so. Tell me, which of these 7 signs hit the hardest? Your story matters, and you're not alone. Before I go, I need to say this clearly. This video is for education and self-reflection. It is not a substitute for professional therapy or crisis support. If you are in immediate danger, or if you're thinking about harming yourself, please reach out to a mental health professional or a crisis hotline in your country. You deserve support. You deserve safety. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for choosing to protect your mind. I'll see you in the next video.